Hello and welcome YouTube. 20 days went by like a second or something like that. It feels like yesterday when we made the last video where we updated you about the first 30 days into the Modpack. And I have a bunch of updates to do. So if you want to know how I automate most of my liquids, how I generate some energy, better stay here and watch what I have in common for you. So we started up. And I think the best thing is if you just take a look into the quest book, so you can see MV is pretty much through on our side. Some of this stuff just needs to be crafted. It's basically like we don't need it till this point, so I did not craft until now. LV, same stuff. Many of the liquids are already done to be progressed. I just never did them in specific to activate the quests. And we took a very big dip into the HV, which brings us to one of the biggest updates and one of the, I would say one of the better updates that I'm going to present you. And that's the clean room. So the tedious way of progressing a bunch of materials to get to the electric circuits changed now. And we have basically built this room where we need to pass power through the outside. The room by itself is a bit grinding, but not that much to be honest. And the setup is pretty easy. You just need to be sure what you need to, how many blocks of glass you are allowed to. I think it needs to be up to 80% out of the Plus Create block. And within here, it's a very clean air. And very clean air means that it's easier to process some stuff. So, for example, our MVs or our IV circuits. Yes, the LV circuits and the MV circuits are not crafted in the old way. The LV are still there, but we're going to craft the integrated circuits, so the MV circuits, in a way easier base. They all build on each other, so you need MV for HV and you need EV for HV and so on and so forth. We also have now the circuit assembler too. That's basically this one. That was our first HV machine. Yeah, so this is the way how we currently create our circuits. We created some wafers to create these wafers. You need silicon grade, so some of you maybe recall that there was a bigger automation here to create some silicon, a solar grade silicon. This is gone. We still have a bunch of in store here, and this needs to this needed to make place for the implosion compressor. This is one of the most important machines if you want to go to space, and that's the current way that we want to do. And also the energy producing, or basically the creation of our energy, what is here is this biodiesel, moved. We have now our full setup of rapes, and also as a bonus we have this peanut stuff, because also peanuts give a not that small amount of seed oil, and seed oil is that thing that always is getting quite off short. So we also did a big rebuild of the base. So you see there's a big hole here where now free spaces for new machines. We moved some MV machines up here, so the whole wall was also torn down, and the last machines are still here, and they are just here because there's still a bunch of biodiesel inside and we don't waste that, so we keep the machines here. The progress changed a bit. When we are in HV, or since we hit HV, automation is a way bigger point that you need to take care of. And in our case, or in my case, the bigger automation functionalities that I did is everything what is regarding any chemical chemical fluids. So I started with one LCR after I was able to do this. So with PTFE, that's a very tedious process, but it always is like you have a carrot directly in front of you that you can chase. And it feels so good to have the first LCR up and running. Also because with the first LCR you can automate the PTFE. So basically just this LCR is possible to create all the PTFE, sorry, that I need to create more of these LCRs, and also that I needed to create all of these LCRs. That's just automated here. So what did we do here? We did a bunch of spaghetti, as you saw. As you see, it's basically some energy. We have now also invested into some conduits, item conduits and fluid conduits. Both of them are needed since you see it's kind of cramped and you cannot transport in a short or in a very tight space very good with protein pipes or item pipes. They're just too bulky. And you can, with the Ender IOs, like you see here, you can run either an item conduit or and a fluid conduit right here. And this is now basically processing the PTFE for us and also our sulfuric acid. And the sulfuric acid we need for the automated creation of some plastic circuit boards. These plastic circuit boards are the bare minimum to have go in for the clean room to really be effective, since each individual circuit needs these as a base. And this is why we automated them. We have an input and we also have, as you see here, we take some sulfuric acid. This is basically created down here and move it up here. We create some plates here, and also we changed from sodium persulfate, what we did at the beginning to create all of the electrical circuit boards. We changed to iron-free chloride, because iron-free chloride again is a stuff, or is a fluid that you can easily make just in an LCR with just one recipe and not 5 recipes. And then we just needed a roller, because I don't want to put already rolled plates into here. That's why we had a bending machine that is basically permanently just producing thin copper sheets, which both of these machines needing. Again, also what we used here is the conduit logic of Ender IO. I really digging that, since it's, first of all, it doesn't look that clustered, and second of all, it's really much easier to control what is getting where out of which machine, what is getting in what. And I can also show you the possibility that you can filter if you want to. Sorry for that. You can filter, you can give different channels. That means you can run multiple connections of items within the same conduits, even though they're not getting into the same. So you can see here. Here I have an output that is brown. That means it will not get inserted here and here since it's green. And the brown input will be here, and here the green export is. So really nice stuff, really good stuff. Ender IO is a must-have to take a look in, and it's also not that painful, to be honest, in the beginning. After that, we also did some, I think it's dark steel or black steel. No, that's black steel. So we did some black steel automation where we basically just put up here 5 different ingots and they get crushed and so on and so forth down here. And with these afterwards, there comes out black steel dust, and this is getting directly processed into the EBF. The EBF, as you can see, is getting quite bigger, so it's the double size. We also changed to full Cantal. This means that we're getting now a higher grade of materials that we can use for the EBF. And we have added a small, if you want to call it like that, automation. We have an input chest and we have an output chest, and also since I still use the Ender IO conduits, I have one input that can be fed by both of the automations, so that I don't need to run permanently here to get the black steel, and also same. What do we also have? We changed also something up here, so it's like IKEA. It's a bunch of chests and a bunch of stuff that is in drawers and so on and so forth. And I wanted to change that. And there is a possibility with Ender IO again that you have kind of an ME system, and this is what we have here. So we now have basically we have 4 chests that are that are connected via these remote awareness upgrades. These remote awareness upgrades are kind of painful to craft. You need ender eyes for it, but if they are, it's really easy to just connect the panel to a conduit, and then you can have access to everything what is inside the chest. One problem I have with this mod, and I really don't like, is the crafting down here is not working as good as in the ME system. So I still have to do like I did here. Sometimes I need to put some items together here to get the auto crafting running of the IE2. That is not that nice, but yeah, that's how it is. And you can also see here that we tried to make it a bit more fancy looking. It's not that we only do like a dwarf digging down. It's not only the dwarf situation here. We have some styling now here. What brings us to the schematic mods, where you basically are able to load in, if I find it, yes, you are able to load in schematics, and these schematics you can then rebuild. And this is overarching of your whole client. So if you build it in a creative world, you just can copy paste it with red point, blue point logic, and then everything in between is copy pasted. And then you just need to have the items in the inventory to basically put them where you want. Also, what we did is we started our main area up here. So later on, I want to have most of the functionalities controlled from up here. And this is why also our super tank went up here. So whenever we want to know how much energy we still have left in the system, at least with a fluid base, we have it here. So there is a very, 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 very long potent tube that it's coming up here and going there and then up there. And it's basically coming out of here. So we have a small buffer of 32k here. This is just that we don't need to have a canning machine here, and it's also buffering, as I said. Yeah, and this is now getting directly put into here, and then upstairs, where we have our centralized super tank, where we can take a look at how much fuel we still have left. Since at the moment nothing is running, the server's running through the whole day, we have a bunch of stuff here. What we also did, maybe some of the viewers are missing our LV cluster here, where we have a kind of an automation. We moved this from here. First of all, we got rid of the version of Steam, and now the whole LV cluster, as you can see here, it's every LV machine that we own is now connected here and is running on combustion generators. And also, behind this wall, maybe I can open just one small block here. Yeah, you can see it's a redstone alloy cable, and down on the right corner, loss meter per ampere is 0 volt. This means we are not losing energy. So these combustion engines are creating 4 ampere of LV energy, and since never more than 4 machines are running here, they are just connected in the background. If I ever want to have more than 4 machines running simultaneously, I need to upgrade here with another combustion engine. Yeah, I mean, here nothing really changed except that a wall is torn down, since it looks way nicer if it's open. The same thing that we did here, I want to make for the MV machines, with a small problem that the superconductors, this is the name of the cables that have no loss in amperage, so are very expensive to make, and they need most certainly, or most expensive is helium. Helium can be, first of all, crafted if you just, I think it's here, yeah. If you just distill compressed air, but then 1000 compressed air is 1 helium. That's kind of tedious, so the game, as the progress is asking for you, is saying to you, well, there is a possibility where you can easily get to, and that's the nether. Not the nether, it's the end. So what we did, we also killed the ender dragon. I think we also have maybe... yeah, so here is it, kill the ender dragon. We have that, we just never accepted it. And with this ender dragon killed, we had access to endstone. And with the endstone dust, it's basically 2 times, 1 time macerated and 2 times into here. We, first of all, we get normal helium and helium free. This is used later, the stream viewers said that. And yeah, so I keep that. And also this is the stuff that I really need to create some superconductors. I tried to play around with the drawers. There's one thing that I don't like that much with the drawers is that they are only 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 wide. That basically gives us not that much of a storage, and with the usage of the, how is it called? Of the compressed chest, that is huge. The setup with the Ender IO inventory panel is just easier, and it's also better, if you want to say it like that. So yeah, but that's basically everything that changed. Currently we are trying to get a bigger hold into Thaumcraft. You can see I scanned a bunch of stuff and so on and so forth to duplicate the 1 nether star that we're currently having. We still have Sven on the server. He's currently in space. This is where we're going next. And outside, nothing really much changed except that we have now 2 panels here. Yeah, and if you want to see how this map is growing, how the process is growing, and so on and so forth, don't fear to take a look in our Twitch channel. So I stream nearly 3 to 4 times a week. You can see a bunch of people already followed. And also on this side, feel free to take a look. We streaming 3 to 4 times in a week. And I would be very happy to see you there. So the next update is coming, I think, with 80 or 100. We will see. Maybe we already done then, but the Modpack at this state is still one of the nicest progresses in the Modpacks that I ever played. And that's not that much, to be honest, but I still like it. And also the way how the Modpack is working with having a reward system for time that you invest into automation is just crazy. So yeah, I hope this video is suiting you well. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to, and don't forget to take a look at Twitch. And we will see us maybe next time. Bye bye.